when you see headlines that, oh, the median sales price this past month has gone up, well, take that with a grain of salt because there's more to the story. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, my name is Wesley Meyer. I am a realtor here in the Nashville area. Today we're going to do another Nashville monthly real estate market update. Now that we're into October, we're into a new month, we're going to take a look at September's data. We're going to do a deep dive. We're going to take a look at price bands today. We're going to touch on days on market. We're going to touch on price per square foot. And I do take a stab at what I think is going on, some of the reasons why we are seeing some of the data that we're seeing. I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, and if you or anyone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate here in Nashville, I would love to help you guys out. My contact info is in the description, and I do offer a first-time homebuyer consultation for anyone in the Nashville area who is thinking about wanting to be a homeowner someday. Whether you're looking to buy maybe a year or 5 years down the road, if your goal is to be a homeowner someday, I want to meet with you. I want to get you guys a plan in place for your future so that you are knowledgeable and intentionally looking to make homeownership a reality for you. The link for that is in the description as well. All right, so let's get into the data. Let's look at September's data. It's October now, but let's go back and look at the official numbers for September. So first things first, median sales price in Davidson County, and we're looking at single family homes. So we're actually up from last month. So look at August, the median sales price was $487, and we are up right at $499. That is a pretty large jump. That's over a 5% increase month over month. But we are really in line with where we were 2 months ago in July. So our July number is exactly the same. Now I have a theory as to why this is happening, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So just from an outsider's perspective, the market's really steady. Prices went down. The average house in Nashville went down, and now it's back up. Let's take a look at our inventory, see what our new home sales numbers look like. You can see the pattern here. Interest rates really started going up in the middle of 2020. People stopped listing their homes, and this is the new listing data. People don't like to sell their houses when interest rates go up, because if they're moving, they don't want to acquire a new house at high interest rates. Interest rates did drop a little bit at the beginning of 2023, so you saw a little bit of an uptick, but they are incredibly high. They haven't released new data as of the recording of this video, but this past Friday, the average for a 30-year fixed mortgage was 7.88, which is very, very high. We're pushing 8% here. And we're back down again this month, September. 867 new listings, quite a bit down from last month. So I think the trend's going to be, unless something changes with interest rates, I think the trend's going to be continuing to push down or staying where we're at. Total homes for sale, we're creeping down again. We dropped over 200, about 250 listings. Just, inventory is drying up, but at the same time, it's so weird. This is a bizarre market right now, because as we're going to see, inventory is drying up, but prices for some of our price bands, we're going to look at price bands here in a little bit, prices are dropping. It's easier to buy a house, it's easier to negotiate on a house, even though there's less inventory. It's really, really bizarre. It's very backwards to what you might think. Usually if you think low inventory or dropping inventory, house prices would rise. But really when you throw the high interest rates into the mix, that really kind of negates what you would expect in a normal market. Let's take a look at average days on market. So July 17 jumped up a few days for August, and at the end of September we were averaging 24 days on market. So again, the higher the average days on market, that's really indicating how difficult it is for a seller to find a buyer. Let's take a look at the percent of list price. So this number here, the percent of list price, what we're looking at, this is the difference between the price that is listed for the house that the house is listed for sale at, and the price it ends up selling for. So this is not the original price that the house goes up on the market for. This is the last price it was listed at before it went under contract. So we've been creeping down these past few months. Really been creeping down since 2022. You look at, these crazy few years we've been, the average sale price after going under contract on the house was higher. than the last listed price, which is crazy. We peaked, man, 104% in April of 2022. That was right when interest rates were starting to take off. That's nuts. It's completely switched. It's completely switched this year. We are back down. So on average in Nashville, and I mentioned this in my previous video, but on average in Nashville in September, a house sells for 97.9% of what the listing price is. So there might still be some instances where it might make sense to offer full price, but I mean, just look at the average. On a $400,000 house, I mean, that's $8,000 of difference. That's quite a bit of money. So keep that in mind if you are working with an agent to buy right now. Rarely will there need to be an instance where you are offering full price. At least incentives. Try to get some incentives out of there, people. Incentives are key right now. A huge proponent of seller incentives and that kind of thing. Let's look at percent of original. So this is what the house sells for compared to what the first listing price was when it went on the market the first time. And we are down in 96.5% of the original listing price. That's just showing you that the sellers are having to drop their prices, the price they initially wanted for the house. They're having to drop that 3.5% on average. So say you're really looking to get into a home, if you have time to wait and a house comes on the market that you're interested in, but you don't think it's worth as much as it's listed for, just wait a little bit. If they're overpriced, houses are not selling. They're just not. The data shows that. Wait for that to come down. I mean, on average, that homeowner is going to drop their price, 3.5%. And then you might be in a position to negotiate a little bit more for some of this average 3.5% drop. So get in on that. If you need help buying a house and you're not working with an agent, I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you navigate that. But one interesting thing, and this is kind of where my theories come into play here, let's take a look at price bands. So this is the same data we were looking at before. This is single family homes in Davidson County, but it's split up by sales price. So this bottom bluish greenish line here, that is homes that sold for between $300,000 and $500,000. So more your median sales price type homes. This orange line here, that is a little bit more. This line represents homes that sold between $500,000 and $700,000. And then this top blue line, that represents all homes sold for $700,000 or more. So that's gonna be your more expensive homes, your bigger homes, your $1 million plus listings, $700,000 and up. So you can see there's a difference here. First thing you notice is the $700,000 plus homes and properties are a lot more volatile. They're a lot less stable, and that we're seeing that right now. So you remember seeing, the first thing I showed you guys was the median sales price for homes in Nashville, and it had gone up. Look at the only line right now that's gone up on median sales price is the over $700,000 line. The other ones actually have dropped or stayed the same. We're going from $400,000 average to $400,000 average. The middle section, the middle price band has dropped quite a bit. $5,000 on average has dropped the median sales price. But those more expensive homes have gone up. And I have a theory for this. I think a lot of the people buying right now are the cash heavy buyers. People who don't really mind interest rates quite so much. They're looking to either invest, they're viewing their home purchase as an investment, or they just, are cash heavy so they can either buy down their interest rate a lot, or they're just gonna buy the house regardless. They're less dependent on the whims of interest rates. So let's take a look at price per square foot, because it's a little bit more representative of price bands. Yeah, you're seeing the same thing. So price per square foot of $700,000 plus listings has gone up $3, while that middle section, the middle price band, has dropped quite a bit. So really, this is showing you where the competition is. This is showing you where the buyers are. The few that are out there, they're in those upper price bands. Because boots on the ground, as a real estate agent, I'm seeing that everyday family homes, the homes that are towards the median sales price in Nashville, the $400,000 to $500,000 or less, they're just really not moving very well. And this is reflected in the data right here. Sales price is dropping, average price per square foot is dropping or staying relatively steady. But you look at this upper price band and it's more volatile. It's gone up. It has dropped a little bit, but it's going back up. So when you see headlines that, the median sales price this past month has gone up, well, take that with a grain of salt, because there's more to the story. you have to break down the data a little bit more. That was my theory. Of the buyers that are buying right now, they are mostly in those higher price bands. That's where most of the competition is. Those buyers are less affected by interest rates. They're gonna buy regardless of interest rates, more or less. So that's my theory. I could be wrong. I'm just a lowly real estate agent here in Nashville. Tell me what you think is going on. Give me your ideas, give me your clues as to what you think might be going on right now in Nashville and why we're seeing what we're seeing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this data dive into September's data. I don't really see anything changing for the month of October. We're gonna have to take a look and see what this Israeli-Hamas conflict, how it's gonna affect us over here in the US as far as our economy and inflation and money printing. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. There's a lot up in the air. Interest rates, they have our market in a chokehold. Really, I don't really see anything drastically changing. I see prices maybe going down a little bit if interest rates stay the same, but I don't see major crashes happening with interest rates like this. We're just kind of in a stalemate. I've used that word before, and it still really applies to where we're at. We've been in a stalemate for several months. Sellers aren't selling, buyers aren't buying, prices are staying relatively stable. We're getting a little bit of movement month to month, but nothing like we've seen the past few years. No major drops, no major increases. And one thing I did want to address is cost of living in Nashville. I don't see the high inflated cost of living in Nashville as a major drive of real estate prices coming down or crashing. I don't see that anytime soon. What the data supports is the influx of people coming into Nashville is driving those price increase, and all the data we have shows that influx of people, no matter where it's from, that's not gonna stop anytime soon. That was the main driver of the rush we had in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Nothing is showing that's gonna slow down. That's the main driver of our home price increases. So while I do think it's possible prices might go down, and I really kind of hope they do, just to get more people in the position to buy if you want to, I don't see that being a short-term factor in housing prices in Nashville right now. Probably the main key takeaways for this market update in October is what we saw last month was really kind of a separation of the price bands. We saw stability or decreases in price per square foot in some of the lower price bands. We saw increases in the upper price bands. So make of that what you will, but just know that headlines aren't always what they seem. There's always more to the story. And so that's why I try to provide you guys value, educate you as to what's happening right now in our market and everything Nashville. As always, if you are buying or selling real estate here in Nashville, I'd love to have a conversation with you, help you out any way I can. But if you want to start that conversation of buying your first house, I have a link in the description to a free first-time homebuyer consultation with myself and my team. I want to surround you with an expert team to not pressure you into buying a house. That's not my goal. I want to make sure you are in the position to have the facts, know the benefits, know the drawbacks, and just be in a good position to make that decision when the time comes. So I love making these videos for you guys. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.